So it sounds like you have a 2.5-year-old who's having issues with constipation and sleeping. First of all, with constipation, if he's been having long-term issues, it would be best to take him to the doctor, and they can check him out and find out what the issue is behind the constipation, and based on that, decide what the best treatment would be. Overall, just for basic constipation that happens every now and then, remedies are usually diet. So eating foods that are high in fiber, drinking things like prune juice, apple juice works for a lot of kids, pear juice, and adding just high fiber foods to their diet will usually help out, and lots of water. But if those basic things aren't helping, and you mentioned you've had to use lots of suppositories, it would be best to take him to the doctor, and again, they can decide if there's a medical reason behind the constipation and give you better options other than what you've already tried. As for the sleep, if he's waking up consistently at midnight and inconsolable, again, I would bring that up with the doctor too, because every once in a while kids go through phases and they wake up and they need to be consoled. But if it's happening on a regular basis, especially if you can't console him, it would be best to talk to the doctor, because there are childhood insomnia disorders and other sleep disorders. And the doctor can decide if one of those is actually an issue, and again, tell you what the best treatment would be based on that. If the doctor decides that it's behavioral, meaning that he's just waking up because he wants to talk to you, he wants you to hold him and comfort him, then there are things you can do to help train him to self-soothe. And the doctor can go over those things with you if he decides that that's what the case is. Or I'll also give you a recommendation here after the doctor's checked him out, if everything's okay. He is 2.5. It is easier to sleep train a baby who can stay in a crib and, be ignored more easily. But because he's 2.5 years old, it would probably be best if you went into his room when he starts crying, just gently touch his chest or his head, whatever's going to comfort him, or, you're going to try to comfort him, and avoid turning on extra lights, avoid picking him up, taking him into bed with you. And if you can do this a few nights in a row, usually they say a week or so, he might learn how to go back to sleep on his own, but maybe having some kind of object that's comforting to him, a favorite stuffed animal or blanket that he can turn to. But if it is just truly behavioral, he needs to learn how to go back to sleep on his own without you. And so that's kind of between you and him as to how you're going to do that. But again, I would take him to the doctor for both issues and just make sure there's nothing else more serious going on that needs to be addressed. Good luck with everything, and if you have any other questions for me, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page, and recommend us to your friends and family too.